remembered.
I'm proud of you for remembering. I never remember.
Yeah.
But that's not my job.
And now the recording has that you're proud of me. So video evidence that
There you go.
my mother's proud of me.
Little clip there. I'm proud of you.
All right. So today is underwriting day. So we're going to talk about a couple of things about underwriting, kind of how it works, and a few very, very important things that some people skip over in underwriting. But as per the request, we're going to talk first about a concept. And I think it's important that we talk about leadership concepts in a lot of what we do as syndicators, as underwriters, as owner operators. If you don't study leadership in general, one, you should start. Because it will help you in so many facets of your life. It helps, like I have done a lot of leadership stuff in my life. That's a lot of my background has been multi-unit management. And when I start learning more about leadership, I see it overflow into my personal life, whether it's with my wife or my parents and my family. It flows over into my church life, everything, right? And so it can only help you get better in your life if you study it and allow it to be a part of that. So there's my like 2-cent pitch on leadership concepts. So always be studying leadership stuff. But the concept that we're going to talk about just really quick is something that I refer to as a say-do ratio, okay? What you say versus what you do. And I will warn you right now, it's a very simple, easy concept. And I'm going to give you a challenge, and next week you're going to hate me for this challenge. I promise you, okay? So my father inadvertently taught me this lesson when I was younger. It's so funny hearing him talk about it because he's like, I don't remember that. I've never heard of this concept. But when I was younger, he always taught me the same kind of principle, right? So when he was growing up, his parents told him all the time, if such and such happens, I'm going to take you to Disneyland. All the time. And they were poor. No, they were po. They couldn't even afford the R on the end of poor. And there was absolutely, positively no way that they were ever going to be able to take their 12 children to Disneyland. Ever. But every year, that was the promise. Okay? So my dad, growing up, taught me a very simple, easy concept. If you tell your kids, and insert anybody into that statement. You tell your friends, your family, your coworkers, your loved ones, it doesn't matter. Anybody that you're going to do something, you better do it. So every year, my father was disappointed when they didn't go to Disneyland, even though he knew they weren't going to go. But it hurt because every year that was the promise. So you now know the concept, say-do ratio. What's your say-do ratio? Do you think that you're a 90%er? Do you think that you're a 50%er? Do you think that you're less? So what I want you to do, and this is a challenge, so take it or leave it.
No, take it.
I would recommend take it.
And report next week.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this at the beginning of next week. We will. Our say-do. We will talk about this at the beginning of next week.
So all things, I'm not talking about multifamily. I'm not talking about business. I'm talking about every facet of your life. What is your actual say-do ratio? Keep track. How often do you tell your spouse, I'm going to do the dishes? And then how often do you actually do the dishes? So keep track.
I'm the dishwasher. I do them all the time.
Hey, there you go. And that's great, right? Like if you say that you're going to do it and you do it, that's good. But I can promise you now, it's probably going to be lower than you think it's going to be. And when we come back and we talk about it next week, guess what? We're going to restart. We're going to hit the reset button on your personal say-do ratio, and we're going to do it again. And the goal is to be above like 75%, because your word is your bond. What you do and what you say are so important. Can you imagine if Cindy and I did not follow through with what we say that we're going to do? We'd lose credibility so fast. And that you never want that, right? Like this ties into another thing. Your personal brand is everything. And your personal brand, especially when you only have a Zoom connection with people, is significantly more than if it was a personal connection. Okay? So, just my 2 cents on say-do ratio. Thank you for letting me pontificate for a little while. But we're going to check back next week, see how everybody's doing. If you have a terrible say-do ratio, the good news is that you can change it. You can be different. You can be better. And our goal is to always be better. So with that being said, today is week 3 of Day in the Life. And do you know what week 3 is?
Underwriting.
It is underwriting. So you get to have to hear from me. That's how you say that, right? Get to have to?
Get to have to.
About some underwriting tips, okay? So I want everybody to be a great underwriter. I want to be a great underwriter. And one day I might be a great underwriter. And we're going to all learn together. And so today what we're going to do, because last week we talked about the top 5 common mistakes that underwriters make. So what I want to talk about today is the 4 things. You see, numbers are great. The 4 things that you need to do in order to have your underwriting more buttoned up for your KP to talk about. Okay? So your KP, key person, that's going to be your sponsor. And your sponsor, before you submit an LOI, is definitely going to want to see these 4 things on your underwriting. Okay? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people want to hit the big ones, right? Like, and if we're being honest, the things that keep me up at night are my rents right, is my cap rate exit right. We're not even going to talk about those because those are real big, multifaceted questions. So the 4 things, okay? The first one is, when you are underwriting, did you go out and get a loan quote? Does everybody have a loan broker that they talk to? Someone that they can say, hey, I have the rent roll T12 OM. I need to know what my LTV is. I need to know what my interest rate is going to be on this guy. I need to know what my IO, my interest only period, is going to be. I need to know if I can get 10-year term on this, or if I can only get a 7, then I need to make my exit strategy for 5. There's so much in that loan that you need to understand, and to make assumptions is always a good start, right? You can look at the 10-year treasury. You can try and figure out what that interest rate's going to be around, but you have no idea what the LTV is actually going to come back at. You'd be surprised at how many places are like Tulsa, Oklahoma, okay? Tulsa, Oklahoma is a great example. There are more people that live in the Tulsa, Oklahoma MSA than in Salt Lake City, okay? It's huge, for real. I only know this because in a previous life, I worked in a multi-unit space in the Tulsa area, and I had to know how many people lived in that area because I was trying to drive traffic through there. There's more people there than in Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City is considered a primary market. So your LTV there can be as high as 85%. Mm-hmm. And in Tulsa, it's considered a tertiary market, not even a secondary market, a tertiary market. So your best LTV is 65% in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, if you strictly look at population, you would never know that. Okay. So that's why getting a loan quote is super important, because it tells you all the other factors other than your interest rate. Yeah, your interest rate's super important. Interest rates can make or break a deal. And I'll share a little bit about this on interest rates. Does anybody know the average interest rate for the United States? Like over the course of the entire history of the United States? It's somewhere in the 6 to 7 to 8 percentile. Like somewhere in there, okay? And so when we were in COVID and we had like a 3% interest rate, I'm going to be honest, I loved it, okay? I love getting loans at that rate. It was super good for me personally. Horrific for the economy. Terrible, terrible move for the economy, okay? Not a lot of people know this, but in the 80s, the interest rate was 17%. 17%. You get a loan and your interest rate was 17%.
For your house.
For your house.
For your house.
Yeah.
I remember that. My parents, not me.
Yeah. 17%. Okay. So when people start complaining about seeing 5, 6, 7%, that's normal. Like, we're in a normal time. Get used to that. Underwrite at that. And then when it drops below, it's all gravy.
What do they do if they don't have a loan broker?
If you don't already have somebody that you work with loans, talk to me. Okay. I can get you, oh yeah, Judy right there. Your interest rate in 1987 was 19%. There you go. That just proves my point, right? So if you don't have a loan broker, talk to me. I got a great loan broker. He loves talking to people. And here's the thing. Don't mind bugging him, okay? Like, it's okay to reach out to him and say, I need a loan quote, and I'm not sure if this deal is going to go through. I'll let you know. Because in the end, he gets paid when loans close. And the more at-bats he gets, the better it is, because then he can close more loans. Mm-hmm. It's going to be agency debt. It's going to be boring. It's going to be Fannie Freddie. It's going to have a fixed interest rate. And those are all things that I absolutely positively love, but they're not sexy. They're just that. Okay? So yeah, if you don't have a loan officer, let me know. I will get you in touch with a loan officer, but always call him. Kim, I will get you his info. Shoot me a text or an email, either one, and I'll send that over, because there's probably more people that you want their information, because I'm going to talk about number 2. We're only on number 2 at this point. That was just number 1. Number 2 is an insurance quote. And the importance of insurance on these can't be overstated, okay? The reason that I say that is a lot of people, when they underwrite, they take whatever the current price that they're paying for their insurance, they add $50 a door because they're conservative, and then they call that good, right? I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. Well, by conservative underwriting, I added $50 to what they're already paying, okay? The real thing about insurance is way more complicated than that, okay? The insurance company that they're currently paying, there's a few things. They could be on a master policy. So they could be getting a huge discount because they have 6, 7, 8, 100 apartment complexes lumped into one. And because of that, it's a risk reward type situation. We don't even know where we stand on master policies, to be honest, because they can really lower your monthly cost on insurance. But heaven forbid one of those properties has a significant loss, then all of your properties, the insurance goes up a lot. So if you have eight assets that they're all on the same master policy, and your insurance on all 8 of them doubles overnight, talk about a seriously challenging thing. And so if you have an individual policy, it is more expensive monthly, but if you do have a significant loss, then it's only one that gets affected by that. So there's some risk, there's some reward on that, but you don't know what they're doing for their insurance policy right now. So you need to go out, you need to get a insurance quote. And again, if you don't have an insurance guy, I got 2 of them. Let me know if you need it. send me an email, send me a text. I will get that info to you. But they're going to ask you questions because they need to know things like the loss runs. What's the loss run history of this apartment complex? Have they had significant losses? Because that's going to impact how much you pay on insurance. And please geographically know if it's close to the coast. You should know that in your initial sniff test of underwriting, whether it's close to the coast. And I'm here to tell you right now, if it's close to the coast, you're going to pay minimum $15,000 a door in insurance. So if they're paying less than $15,000, they're doing something different, and find out what they're doing. Don't be afraid.
15,000 annually.
A door annually, yeah.
I just want to clarify.
Oh yeah, that's fair. If they are paying significantly less, ask your broker that you got the deal from. How are they only paying $600 a door a year for this property? What's their secret? I'd love to know the sauce. So yeah, there's a lot of things that you need to be aware of when it comes to insurance, and get that quote. And so a lot of the times my insurance guys will give me a quote and they'll say, hey, on the low end, I could expect $600 a door a year off of this property. At most, I'm going to expect about $800 a door a year. Do you have any idea what number I used to underwrite with? The 800. That is correct. Yep. Kim?
Whenever I'm underwriting properties, sometimes I see that the current owner has an umbrella policy in addition to their regular property insurance. Do you recommend that, or what are your thoughts on that? And how do we underwrite it? Do we include the umbrella cost as well?
Yeah, so you to answer the second question first, because that makes more sense, just lump it all together in insurance, right? And most of the time when you get an insurance quote anyways, there will be like 3 different types of insurance that you're paying for in that one insurance quote. Because there will be like a general liability, there could be an umbrella policy, and then there also is like a property insurance in there sometimes too. So when you get the quote, they'll kind of break it all down for you. But anybody who just gives you kind of like a spreadsheet and says, hey, before you call me, fill this spreadsheet out, it'll give you rough numbers, don't use that guy.
No.
Right?
Okay.
You're going to want more granular. You want somebody to actually look at the property and go through it. And again, these guys get paid when they close a deal. So they want you to call them. They want to give you quotes because you want to get that insurance to be able to get this done. So never, ever, ever feel bad about getting any of these done before you talk to a KP and before you have agreed LOIs. Okay? I'm just telling you right now, don't feel bad about it. Go get it. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yep, no worries. Number 3. Oh gosh, I have 7 minutes, so we're gonna cruise through this. We're gonna do number 3, taxes. Okay? Before you talk to a KP, before you pitch this to anybody, any underwriter, anybody that you want to bounce this off of, know your taxes. Know your county, your parcel number, and here we go, the millage rate. What is the millage rate of the property that you are purchasing? And is it in a non-disclosure state? Does the deal underwrite if the taxes get reevaluated or not? Because I'm here to tell you right now, sometimes even in non-disclosure states, when you buy a property, your taxes get recalculated and you get hosed. So you have to make sure that yours works whether they get recalculated or not. It doesn't matter. They have to work both ways. And if you don't get reassessed, fantastic. That's how you pay investors significantly more than what they were promised. And that's the best thing ever, when people get more money than they thought they were going to get. But do your work on taxes. Because again, taxes will kill you, man. We had a property that we thought was a gold mine in Oklahoma. And we're like, this is going to be fantastic. Oklahoma is in this gray area. Sometimes it's disclosed, sometimes it's not. It's not a non-disclosure state, but it is a disclosure state. It's weird. And we're like, dude, this is going to absolutely crush it for us. And then when we got to the process, too far into the process, like we didn't have a signed PSA agreement, don't get me wrong, but it's too far for my comfort. All of a sudden, the broker was like, hey, just so you know, the county is aware that we are selling this property, so the taxes will get reassessed. And then we looked at the taxation and went, oh crap, they bought this property in 1954. Their taxes were $16,000 a year. If it gets reassessed, it's going to be, what was it, like $97,000?
Yes.
They were going to like almost 10x on us on taxes alone.
And well, it's because it was a grandfather, and then his son built more buildings, and then his son built more buildings, and they kept literally grandfathering the real estate tax. And so when it was going to get sold, it was coming out of that family, and it killed the deal. We couldn't do it. We just couldn't do it. We had to walk, and we were in number one position.
Yep. So no signed PSA, but it sucks to have an LOI in and then have to back out. Mm-hmm. And it's not good for you. That's egg on your face. So you don't want that. So that's why I'm telling you right now, learn from our mistakes. Before you get into anything, you need to go in, you need to find out the taxes. Who specifically in a county is best to contact to find out about taxes? Okay, that's a great question. So there is no good answer. The best answer is go on the county tax assessor's website. If you want to contact somebody, there is always a phone number there. They're a government employee, so they're not very much help. Sorry if any of you guys are government employees. Sometimes there's a tax estimator on the assessor's website. You pick the county and the school district you're in and all that stuff, and it'll spit out your millage rate. Sometimes, and oh my gosh, sometimes it is a spreadsheet that you have to find out what county and what school district and what fire department and who does your sewer and all that stuff in order to get down to your millage rate, your actual millage rate of what is going on in there. I'm trying to build a chat GPT thing that will do that for me. Sometimes chat GPT lies to me, and that makes me scared to be like, oh yeah, this for sure is the millage rate. So we're still working through some processes on that, but yeah, there's no easy way, unfortunately, to do it most of the time, and no one person to always call, but the tax assessor of the county that you're looking at. And remember, because it's Leon County doesn't mean that it's always in Florida. There's like 20 Leon counties, so make sure that you're in Leon County, Mississippi when you're looking that up instead of Leon County, Florida. So just word to the wise, because otherwise you'll spend like 30 minutes looking at something and go, oh crap, that's the wrong one.
You did that for me. That was some research.
That was actual research I was doing. So, all right, last one, and we only got 2 minutes. And this is probably the most important one of them all. So I kind of suck at timing, but here it is. A property management quote. Before you talk to a KP, before you put an LOI in, talk to a property management. Now, talk to 3 property management companies, okay? Find out what their business model is in that area, who the regional is. Are you good with that regional? Do your mission, vision, and values align? They know the area better than you do. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, they're going to know the ins and outs of it, okay? What are your rent assumptions? That will help you sleep a little at night. They're like, oh yeah, I have, 2,000 doors in this area. We're very easily fetching 1,500 a door. It's like, cool, I underwrote that at 14 because that's what I thought it was, but you're saying we can get 15? Okay, cool, I'm gonna leave it at 14, but then we can hope for 15. But talk to a property management company. Find out what percentage they charge of the management fee. If you don't have our property management questionnaire, email me. I will send you our property management questionnaire. And I will tell you from experience, ask every single question on that property management questionnaire. Stop laughing at me.
Well, how do you know to do that?
because I have interviewed at this point like 15 property management companies. And you know what I did for the first 5 of them? I asked the questions that made sense to me. And you know what I missed? All the other stuff that she wanted. So every question on there is intentional.
There's a reason. Yeah.
And sometimes you can kind of answer the question with the previous question that you asked, because they're like, you know, hey, we only require $50,000 of operating expenses in the budget. And you're like, cool, 15,000 or, you know, 15,000. Then you get to the next question and ask more about the operational budget, but they've already answered that. So sometimes they answer themselves, but ask every single question. They are all important, I promise you. So with that being said, those are my 4 important things to do before submitting an LOI or talking to a KP. Go get those quotes. Don't be afraid to talk to people. Don't be afraid to ask people how they do it, where they do it, why they do it. And remember, all of these people, except for the taxes, they get paid either way. But all of these people get paid when you do business with them. So like if you talk to a property management company and they seem uninterested in working with you, guess what you should be? Uninterested in working with them. Period.
Yeah.
Because that relationship will start off bad and only get worse.
Yeah.
So interview 3 property management companies. You'll thank me later on that one. But go out, get these quotes. People should be wanting to talk to you because they're trying to earn your business. I know that you're trying to further your business and your things that you're doing, but they also have a business that they're running. They want you to work with them. Okay?
And let us know if you don't have the property management questionnaire.
Yep. Again, email me or text me. I will send it to you guys. I think most of you guys have that anyways, because you're our regulars. But if you don't, let me know. I'll get it to you. Yep. So that's our 4 important things to do. What's up, dude?
So I was wondering too, when you do the taxes, I heard that there's a certain tax broker, right? So when you ask them for information on a property, then it makes it challenging to go. What we heard was go with our sponsor and see if they've got a quote, insurance quoter, or someone that's working on that. Because if someone pulls up insurance, or sorry, the taxes, then is it insurance or taxes? Then it's hard for another broker or other team brokers to pull up that same information. Is that right?
That's
Yeah.
insurance.
Yeah, that's insurance. So yeah, I was gonna say there's no tax broker. No one would shoot themselves in the foot that hard. No, the insurance, right? And so that's why you get a quote. And typically when you get a quote from somebody for insurance, you do want to stick with that one person during the whole process. It does make life easier and smoother, and you're never going to be able to play one against the other. Well, this insurance broker told me that it came back at this price and all that stuff. Because an insurance broker, what they do is they're going to shotgun the information out to basically all of their insurance guys, and then get quotes back from them, and they'll filter the quotes out for you and give you, some of the better quotes. Now, when you start talking about like, hey, I'm going to just call you, I just want a quick insurance quote for this property, kind of see where it lands, they're not going out and getting binding quotes. So heaven forbid you go out, you get a quote, you say, hey, you tell your KP, I got a quote for insurance. This is what the insurance is going to come in at. It's in between $600 and $800 a door. Most KPs are not going to be like, well, you have to use my insurance guy.
Right.
Most KPs are going to be like, cool, I'm glad that you got that out of the way. Let's move forward. And they're going to move forward with the process with your insurance guy. Now, you might run into some that are like, I want to use my insurance guy because I think it's going to be cheaper or whatever. That's fine. You just let your insurance guy know, hey, thank you for getting me that quote. We're moving forward with this, but unfortunately, my KP said that they wanted to use a different insurance guy. I'm going to talk to her about you to see if I can move it forward with you. But just so you know, I might not be able to get this in particular one with you, but I'm still going to, next time I get one, I'm going to come to you for an insurance quote. Right? Like, be open, be honest, be transparent, and be communicative with the people that you're working with. Because what you don't want to do is go and get an insurance quote and they're like, okay, cool, I got this quote for you. This is where it's going to land, and then you ghost them. Don't do that. You'll build bad bridges or burn bridges, one of the two, rickety bridges at least.
Well, thank you, Cindy and Tyler.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. Okay, say-do ratio. That's your homework.
Any other questions before we get jump? We do have to head to a dinner here in about 5 minutes, so we have a smidge of time, but not very much.
You guys are, I love this. Just love what you're doing.
Good.
We love doing
Very-
it too. Works out
Very
great.
informative. I've told other people about it too. So
Awesome.
you.
Thank you. All right, guys. Well, that's going to end today's day in the life.
We'll see you guys next Monday, which will be Cindy's Believe It or Not.
Thank you, both of you guys. Thank you so much.